Hey guys, I'm going to talk about bullying for 11, 11 minutes and 36 seconds. So if the video cuts off on me, I'm sorry. But just for now, I'll say bye, and then, when it cuts off, I'll say bye if you watch the whole video. Let's talk about bullying. Now, bullying is a strong topic for me. I'll tell you one story, what happened when I was in like 6th grade or something like that. I'm in 8th grade now, so that was been 2 years. Maybe 3 years, I don't know. But I was being bullied by this girl, which is called her Spot. Yeah, this girl, Spot, kept bullying me, saying, oh yeah, your family probably adopted you because you're so this and that, and you're so this and that, and because she knew I was skinnier, not skinnier, but bigger than the rest of my family. Yes, I am mixed. I am a lot of things, by the way, but I'll get to that later. They told me, yeah, your parents didn't want you, and I was like, okay, probably your parents didn't want you either, so what are you judging? But I would get all these rude comments from them, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. I would brush it off my shoulder until this one day I couldn't take it anymore. I turned around and punched her because she was talking about my sister, my mom, my dad, how they were so rude. How they were so rude to her that one day, even though she's never met them. She was talking bad stuff, and I was like, fine, talk about it. Sorry, I'm trying to look away and not cry. Because it's like a really strong topic. Schools don't do anything. They just tell you to brush it off. I swear. And I had to go down on my knees because I got punched so hard and kicked and clawed, and I was out of breath. They weren't even out of breath because I barely punched them once, and it was only that girl, and her whole gang came and punched me and kicked me, and I was suspended for that one punch. And they weren't suspended because of I was technically bullying them. And I wrote a whole note about this to the principal too. And they were like, we can't do anything about it now. It's too late. I was like, not too late. You were just too early to judge people. Because they were already judging me. They were looking at me. And this one new Nade, she was looking at me, and she knew me, and she knew that I only did that to protect myself and my family. And even she was shaking her head like, they shouldn't be doing this to you. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she didn't even know she probably didn't even think that I was saying that to her. And I said, I know. Because she stared at me for a long time, physically talking to me, it felt like. So I shook my head and said, I know. And they literally called up my dad to say, yeah, you have to pick up your daughter now. She was bullying some kids, and my dad didn't believe them because he knows that I get... Do you hear that? That's not even a plane. But he knows that I wouldn't do that unless someone was bullying me. I wouldn't do it just for fun. So, yeah, I went home. My mom got me in trouble. My dad didn't do anything because he knew I wouldn't do anything if I knew it was dangerous. So he knew okay, yeah, she got in trouble, but will she do it again? He knew I'd probably do it again if they really got on my nerves. Because it took them 3 years to get really on my nerves, all right at the edge. So yeah, and then a couple of years later, I was hanging out with one of my guy friends, And my guy friend was getting really mad because all these people were like judging us for hanging out because we're like different sex and stuff. I was like, what does that matter? And I told the guy that was asking us that question. He was like, I don't know. All my friends are saying that your guys are dating. And I was like, it doesn't make it okay to tell us, like, to, like, and they were making fun of us for this, like, oh yeah, they're definitely in a relationship. We had this whole thing, office to office to office. We went to office, and then we had to go home, back to class, and then we went to the office. I literally called into the office, like, more than 100 times, it felt like. That whole year, maybe 1,000, it felt like. Now I'd go in there, and there was this one girl. She was a really nice girl. She had trouble reading and making out words and stuff, like me, and it was really hard. Because then she texted me this one thing, like, fudge you, and like, you don't even know what I go through. And I was like, yeah, I do. I have the same thing as you. She was like, no, you don't. You don't fudge know what I go through. And she was like, you're a fudge. And I was like, okay, this goes way too far. And like, she was like, I don't even know how she got like possession of my number. I didn't give her my number. I know for a fact I didn't give her my number. And then I gave her Michael's number because she said, yeah, we're doing a project. And I thought he really meant it because I said, oh yeah, you guys are doing a project? And I asked him too, and if it was okay. And he said, yeah, because I'm going to change my number anyways. And then he changed his mind last minute when I just gave her the number. And he was like, dang it. And she got really mad because she knew he was going to change phones anyways. And she knew that I deleted her number and I blocked her completely because she said all those rude comments. And then I got called up to the office telling me that I was making those rude comments to her. And I showed them my phone and I said, yeah, this is not it. I am not that person. And then I got called up for another text message thing, and I was like, I don't even have her number. Like, you're blaming me for stuff. And I'm like, when have I ever said a curse word in a text message? And they looked through all my emails, and I was like, I gave you possession of my phone only from my text messages. And I straight up told them that because they're not supposed to look through your emails and stuff, only through your text message, only what you allowed them to look at. And so all that was over, and then this year the bullying has acted up again. Really upset about that. But and then I seen this other video about, or did I tell you about the Nicole, whatever her name is, about the fat shaming? I'll tell you later if I didn't tell you. But yeah, and then this other video, the world's see what I mean? Ugliest woman. That's what I was trying to say this whole time. So I was watching that video and I was like, this person. And then I found her YouTube channel and she was like, yeah, this like first time I ever seen it. And then I was like, this poor woman, like, she's probably devastated. And then she was like all confident and stuff. And I was like, yes, we need this with people. Well, that's all I'm going to talk about for bullying. If you have any more bullying stuff that you want me to talk about, like cyberbullying, I can talk more about that if you want me to. But if you want me to talk about more stuff, link it in the comment down below. Subscribe and comment what you want me to do next week or whenever I do a video. Bye.